And when they're faced with, oh, I just had a stroke, or I had this happen or that happen, life continues. And so preventative medicine, as beneficial as it is, it's a very hard concept to get across.
Right.
And I'm all for it. I mean, it's my whole entire basis in clinic is preventative.
Leaders Talk, Season 2.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is your favorite time of the week. It's my favorite time of the week. It's time for Leaders Talk. And as always, I am your intrepid host, Andrew Dupy, host of the Leaders Talk podcast and head of communications here at Leaders Brands. And today I have as my guest Dr. Glen Robison. He's a board-certified pediatric physician and a diplomate of the American Board of Multiple Specialties in Podiatry. That's alliteration for you English people out there, folks, as you kind of go in. He's got more than 25 years of clinical and surgical experience. And what he does is he blends conventional medicine with holistic therapies. And that includes Shinjutsu. I have that right, Glenn? Thought field therapy, micropractic techniques, and they address both the physical and the emotional root causes of pain and illness. Dr. Robinson, he specializes in prolotherapy, offering non-surgical treatment options for ankle instability, torn ligaments, tendons, and bunions. He is also, and this is important for us, the best-selling author of Healthy Dad, Sick Dad, What Good Is Your Wealth If You Don't Have Your Health, and the co-author of USA Today bestseller Luminary Leadership, How Top Entrepreneurs Lead in Business and Life, and the USA National Bestseller Success DNA, Mastering Presence and Leadership and Life. We love those because you've been on a journey with us. Glenn, that's a heck of a CV. And yeah, we were just talking about health and wellness before you got here. But I mean, take a second though, just to kind of give an introduction of yourself to our audience, so that they can maybe get a little bit more about what makes you you.
Very good. It's nice to be here. And what's me is I guess that little thing inside me that drives me to want to know more.
Yeah.
I think it's been there since I was a kid. If I didn't understand something, I asked a lot of questions. I think I drove my teachers nuts, and my parents also. So I was always asking questions, always intrigued of learning. And it just wasn't in the subject matter of medicine. It was in all subject matter. So, whether it be farming when I was growing up on a farm, or, planting trees in Yellowstone. I was like, okay, why are you making me plant this tree this way? And 6 inches down and it can't touch the side. And so I'm asking a bunch of questions. And so there's an inner drive to know more. It's knowledge. And I think when we have more knowledge, we're more prepared at life, and hopefully the stresses of life are minimal. So,
Well, I mean, and I that's something that I absolutely agree with. I mean, I feel as somebody that also works in education that being educated and learning is something that's a process that we should never stop. I mean, there's no end point where you get a diploma or a degree or get something where that tells you, okay, you now know enough. You don't have to learn anymore. Now you can do the practical. Even when you're doing the practical, I've always believed that you need to continue to grow as a person, to educate yourself, to learn more. And I mean, is that kind of what you're writing about as well when you're doing that?
well, I think what I write about is the journey, the experiences. For instance, um, in medical school, they teach you that there's 120 different ways to fix a bunion. You can, you can make this cut or that cut, or you can align it, or you can do this, this, and this. And so, what I've learned over the years is that bunions are not necessarily need to go into surgery. And here I was taught and trained to fix these things and what to look for and everything, until I had a bunion myself, and I can explain what really bunions are.
Mm.
But the misalignment is due to something that is completely, um, I would say, out of everybody's experiencing bunions. They do not really fully understand where the bunion's coming from, and it's definitely coming from stress. And
Hmm.
so when you're having tension and tightness in the shoulders and neck, the body always wants to be in balance. And so, and the toes will grip more. And as they grip more, there's a misalignment. And there's a direct correlation with bunions and shoulder tension.
Yeah.
So when this happened to me in a very stressful event, which I talk about in the book, Show Them, um, that I went through, one of the most stressful things that I've had to experience. I woke up one day and my bunion went south, and I was like, oh my heavens. Um, I was not going to have surgery on it, even though I been telling people, okay, this is how we fix it for years and years and years. And so I went off on an adventure and say, okay, how can I fix this naturally? And so I developed a stretching regimen for the lower extremity and working the upper shoulders, necks through, the myopractic and the Jinsen Jiu-Jitsu and some other modalities. And once I got the tension and the stress out of the neck and shoulders, and I was able to stretch the lower extremities, you can't even tell I have a bunion. So, now that's how I help people. And so it's that quest for, more knowledge. It's that, okay, is there another option here? We've been told this our entire life, and it doesn't matter what subject matter you are or what career you have. Something inside of you says, well, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And
Right.
so then you start asking questions, and but behold, all with time, it could be, within a day, months, weeks, years, but that answer will come to you,
Hmm.
and you just have to stay with it. And I think that's why I labeled the subtitle to my book, stepping into the unknown to find the answers. And that unknown is uncomfortable because it's kind of like a step of faith. You're venturing into this realm that you're like, oh man, I know the answer's there, but it's awfully uncomfortable to be here, sometimes by yourself. And
Yeah.
it could be a lonely journey. And I found that within my own profession that a lot of my colleagues don't understand some of the things that definitely work for my patients. And so I just don't carry on a dialogue or conversation. So um, yeah, I hope that helps a little
Oh
bit
no,
to
I mean
understand.
it's fascinating because I mean, as you and I have discussed, I have my own issues that are stress related that have kind of manifested as cardiac. But you're right. It's like it's in some situations. I mean, mine alone doesn't have. I don't have blockages. I don't have any kind of non-smoker my entire life. All the green boxes are green, and none of the red boxes are red except for stress. And that built into some things that began to manifest in my late 40s and now coming into my early 50s. And I think that's something you're coming at something from a holistic approach of saying that in a lot of ways, mental health, stress, other factors can lead to what we, might not necessarily think are related. Because I didn't know bunions could possibly be something that was stress related.
Yeah, it's directly correlated to stress. I mean, somebody says, we're always told in medical school that it's an ancestor. And so when somebody says, yeah, my mom or dad had it or my grandma or grandpa had it, my
Hmm.
response is, well, they were just as stressful as you are. And
Right.
so it's a direct correlation of stress, in my opinion. And I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of bunions that come into my office over the years. So
Yeah. And so, from a treatment perspective, what do you do differently for your patients than, maybe say somebody that comes in and does the textbook, okay, surgery, all of this is taken care of and we're out the door.
I definitely individualize it because some people are not open to it. Some people just want to get out of pain and be gone and on their
Right.
way. So in talking with them, asking the right questions, listening to them, listening not only to the words they're telling me, their body language, listening and watching and observing the person that may be in the room with them, a family member. So I'm very observant. And then I'll start to pick up things that I will present. For instance, a diabetic. Even today, I had a patient that he's on the cusp of diabetes. He says he's been diagnosed as diabetes. And I says, well, here in my book, Healthy Dad, Sick Dad, there's a whole chapter on diabetes. And if you do this, this, and this, you can drop your hemoglobin A1C by 1 point within a month. And what are those things? Fresh ginger, green beans, blueberries, cinnamon, all dietary things, but you have to stay away from anything
Hold
that
on, let me
is.
take some notes here.
Um, and you have to stay away from the grains, the vegetables, and the fruits that are not organic. And here's why.
Mhm.
In the non-organic food sections that are cheaper and more readily available, there's a chemical called glyphosate or a Roundup that they spray on it. Well, there's a lot of studies and a lot of information out there that shows a correlation with this substance when it's sprayed on grains and vegetables and fruits, and we ingest it, that it does have an effect on our pancreas and other things in our body.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a slow process. It's not something that you're going to have an immediate effect and bam, but it could take years. But when we're eating these things and we're told that vegetables are good and that grains are good, but if we're not eating the quality of those grains and vegetables and fruits, well, it's going to hurt us in the long run.
Right.
And then we start to have these presentations.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because when you think about eating, your body is going to ingest whatever you put into it. If you put Roundup into your body, no matter how small an amount, your body is still ingesting that material whenever you're eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I mean I'm definitely going to take some notes on that because that's one of the things my doctor told me to take care of with a little bit of get my A1C down a little bit. And I'll see if that works and maybe get back to you. But one, this I'd like to kind of take a look at this from the idea of preventative health. I mean, because that's something that we don't do as a society enough, I believe, is we don't concentrate as much on preventing things in the future. Many people, it's reactive. I mean, even for me, I was not preventative enough in many of the things that I probably should have been and now I'm reacting to the issues. So, what maybe first of all, what's your thought on that? And then, if you agree, what are some things that people can do to maybe begin to have some positive preventative health decisions that could perhaps put off some of these problems or eliminate them before they happen?
You bring up a very good question, a point there. And what I have found is that, especially when it comes to health, nobody really does anything until the crisis happens.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, and when they're faced with, oh, I just had a stroke, or I had this happen or that happen, life continues. And so, preventative medicine, as beneficial as it is, it's a very hard concept to get across.
Right.
And I'm all for it. I mean, it's my whole entire basis in clinic is preventative. Whether it's from an ingrown toenail, okay, do this, wear wider shoes. Don't get in shoes that are too tight, or you're going to get that nail growing ingrown again. Or, plantar fasciitis. If you wear a shoe that it bends in the middle and not at the toe, well, you're going to develop some irritation in that plantar ligament, and you're going to be limping around for months, weeks, and years, which I see it all the time. So if I can share information to these patients and somehow say, okay, I'm projecting out 5 years from now, and this is where you're going to be, and this is how you're going to present. If you don't change this, you're going to be here. Now, I'm not a prophet. I'm I'm not somebody that looks into the future, but that book, Healthy Dad, Sick Dad, was for the individual that was healthy to say, hey, look, if you continue eating these things and you continue doing this, this is where you're going to be in 15 years. You're going to be on a buttload of medication, and one medication causes another thing, and another medication causes another thing, and before you know it, you're on 15 medications.
Right.
Or you can do this and take a healthy approach and get the right rest, cut out the Wi-Fi, lower the EMFs, eat healthy, lower your stress, and then see in 15 years. Well, it's a hard thing to do to really get across, but I think the ones that have seen their parents go through struggle are more apt to listen. But it's such an important principle. That's one thing I'm just trying to work on right now is okay, how do you present preventative medicine to a general society
Yeah.
that is living it up and eat out every week and all these things that they love to do, and yeah, it's just the convenience of it is, yeah.
Yeah, and that really is it. I mean, convenience, cost, that tends to be when I hear people say, I'd love to do this, but it's too expensive or it's too difficult, or I'd have to go and find places that actually offer the kind of foods, the kind of help that I would need. And people generally will choose convenience. They'll choose the cheaper non-organics. They'll choose the things that, maybe they would say, I would prefer this, but I'm watching my budget. But then when it comes down to it, even with insurance, especially in the United States, if you then begin to have problems, the costs are much worse on that side of the end. And that, I think, maybe that's something that people should be educated on is that part. It's like, you'll probably pay more later than you pay now.
Well, here's a statement that may get me in trouble, but you take away the insurance, you have a choice. Either you have to eat healthy and live a healthy life, or you can have a very expensive trip to the ER or the doctor.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes we get so comfortable in that we have this comfort of having health insurance that, okay, so, oh, well, if this happens, I can just go to the doctor and he'll fix me. Um, and it's good to have. I mean, I'm not against it at all. I mean, there's some things that are definitely it's needed, but just because of the financial burden. But I think if somebody was to ask themselves, okay, if I didn't have health insurance, would I live differently? Would I have to live? Would I live differently and do different things? Um, and especially with all the little diseases that come up from diabetes to hypertension to everything out there. But
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Well, and I think that gets back to your original point is that the key thing is continuing to learn and continuing to be educated, to educate yourself, to learn to learn what keeps you healthy, to learn your own health, and to understand, what are your issues, what's your family history, is that family history significant? So, how do people? I mean, other than grabbing your book, which I think they should do, I've definitely got it on my list now because Healthy Dad, Sick Dad sounds like something that I absolutely need to read. But how do people educate themselves a little bit more about their own health?
I think the main thing is listen. You got to listen to your body,
Hmm.
and you got to be observant around you. Okay, so in saying that, I had a grandpa that died of diabetes. Never met the man. He died before I was even born,
Hmm.
but I was told that he died of diabetes. Okay, well, did that set a seed in me to be fearful of diabetes? No, it didn't. Um, but what set a precedence in me was when I was young, and I talk about it in the book, Show Them, is when I had asthma as a young kid and I wanted to find a cure for that disease. So I actually purposely caused myself to get an asthma attack by running with the basketball or riding my bike to the next town. And I'd record how far I went, what food I ate, and then I'd do it again and see if I could go further. So I was very observant with myself and how far I could push myself. But I was also observant around the other people. And going back to my grandfather, and the reason why I bring that up is that I don't think that we should be fearful of our ancestors and what their health was, because
Right.
we have choices. And I don't fear diabetes because he died of it. Doesn't mean I have to die of it or have to even have it.
Yeah.
If I follow these principles and live a healthy life, and as previously mentioned, it's not on my stress level. Sorry about that. Didn't mean that. I thought I turned my phone off. So, uh, but yeah, it's um, I think there's so much emphasis is on this genetic coding and all this stuff, is that they tie you to your parents, your grandparents, and yeah, you do have genetic markers, but it doesn't mean you have to go down the same path. And so I would tell people, listen to your body, listen to the five senses, listen to what's inside, and then observe.
Hmm.
And uh, you know, I remember I used to mow lawns, and as a kid, and there's this man that I'd mow his lawn, and after I got done mowing, I'd go up to his porch and collect the money, and he'd pay me for mowing his lawn. Well, I sat down there on that porch, and I'm looking at him, and he says, "Son, do you want a cigarette?" And hands me a cigarette. I'm like, no, I don't want a cigarette. Your face is wrinkly. You look like you're 90 years old, and I don't want to feel. And I associate his face and his wrinkles with cigarette smoking. So I was like, I said no and collected my money and went home. But that was just a little simple observation, whether it be correct or not. But it stopped me from saying, well, wait a minute, maybe that cigarette, yeah, I could try it, but I've never tried cigarettes, so just I don't want to be wrinkly. So I don't know, and I don't know if there's any association with that. But when I was a
Oh
kid,
no,
that's
I
what.
mean, no, I really think that I think that fits a lot with what you're saying. It's like, those are the small decisions that you can make that can improve things. I guarantee you, in my situation, if I had been a smoker instead of a lifetime, same thing. I never picked one up myself, but I would probably be in a far worse situation, much younger than I am, if I had made those decisions, considering I am where I'm at now. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that very much a good lesson to learn. Those are the smallest choices you can make. And it's not really a sacrifice if you don't ever do it, and so people maybe can think about that before they make the choices that could end up giving them health issues. So yeah, Glenn, as we kind of wrap up here, you've given us a lot to think about. But maybe like a golden nugget, just something that you really want the audience to take away from your work, your book, your time with me here, just something they can have. So anything that you want to share?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but I could narrow it down to one. It's that something that I observe in a lot of people um, in my journey, what I call journey of life, is that people will start things and they have the most potential outcomes, but they never finish. And I think that either they self-doubt themselves, or they think it's too hard, or they say it's not worth it. And I'm talking whatever it is. In me, it happened to be, being told I'd never make it into college. And so I set off on a goal and the determination, well, I'm going to make it into college. And then when I got into college, I was like, okay, actually, I want to go and become a doctor. So I set that off and then made it into medical school. And then when I got into medical school, I'm like, oh, okay, I want to do surgery. And there's a lot of things that happen along the ways that I write, and it's like, man, do I want to finish this? Is it worth it to me to continue? Um, and so my little golden pearl is, if you're faced with that dilemma and you have something burning desire inside of you that you want to accomplish and you want to do, don't quit. Step away from it for a period of time. Hopefully that's only a day or so, but don't quit. Because if it's that burning desire inside of you to do something, to accomplish something, collect your thoughts. Something's going to happen, whether somebody comes across your path and says something, or a mentor comes into your life, or this happens or that happens. Be patient with it and watch the success or the development of that desire come to fruition. And that's what I wish more people would do is stick to their desire, stick to their passion, and watch it grow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think those are fantastic words, and that's definitely something that everybody can learn from. So Glenn, I mean, how does our audience find out more about you?
you can go to my website. It's drglenrobison.com. Um, and there's Instagram. If you, my wife takes care of that, so I shouldn't be saying this on here, but I am on social media. Do I spend as much time there? I do. As far as I put out on like Instagram, like what I'm eating that night, so you'll see various dishes that my family eats. And that's on Instagram. I think it's at Dr. Glen Robison. For Instagram. And the main thing is just the website. I just direct people to the website.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll embed some of those links down below, so go and check them out. I'm definitely going to look at what Glenn's eating. Maybe it'll help me with my menu. Glenn, it was a real pleasure. But maybe we'll check back in with you later on, see how the books have done, and maybe get some more tips for our audience.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, Glenn, you have a great one.
Thank you.